Straight from the best fishing locations in the world, featuring Wade Middleton, Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter, presents The Fisherman's Handbook. The Fisherman's Handbook is a legendary series of how-to fishing trips designed to help you become a better angler. Each week, top pros will walk with you along the aisles of Cabela's retail stores and help you flip the pages of the Cabela's catalog to show you what you need and how to get you ready to go fishing. That's all ahead on today's Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook. Picking a spot to launch your boat is often the least of most anglers' worries. Why? Because most fishermen would have a good time throwing a line at about any puddle if they knew they were going to catch a fish. But there are always a few lakes in the nation that are better than others. And today we're going to be highlighting a couple of those premier fishing lakes that if you have a chance to go visit, you should.
Kentucky Lake and Toledo Bend arguably are two of the biggest, best lakes in the nation. They've got to be in anybody's top 20, no question. Those two lakes are always going to be exciting for any fisherman to go visit. They offer a lot of different styles, a lot of different ways that you can catch them, whether you want to fish shallow vegetation, whether you want to fish shallow cover, whether you want to get out and fish the mid-depths, whether you want to get out and fish the deep drop-offs and the ledges. Both of those bodies of water provide a unique way for you as a fisherman to be able to go catch a lot of fish. We're going to start it off at Kentucky Lake.
Kentucky Lake is located alongside 2,300 miles of shoreline. Kentucky Dam creates the largest man-made lake in the eastern United States, backing up the Tennessee River for 184 miles and creating a lake that covers over 160,000 acres. Kentucky Lake is an incredible fishing destination.
Kentucky Lake is one of the largest, most diverse bodies of water in the nation. It's got a lot of different species of fish that swim in it. But the most popular is the largemouth bass. You know, there's a lot of tournaments that are held on Kentucky Lake, specifically targeting, obviously, largemouth bass, and there's a lot of people that recreationally fish for them. We're going to go there with Cabela's Pro Clark Winlet and Tom Rawls from Cabela's and spend some time on the water with them and learn a little bit more about Kentucky Lake.
There's a fish.
That's a fish.
Be a big one. Yeah, not big, but
not big, but he's all right.
Yeah.
We'll take him, right?
That's absolutely right. Usually when I'm fishing ledges, if I've got somebody with me like Tom, you know, I'll get him to throw one bait and I'll throw something different. And that way we can kind of give them a 1-2 punch, see if we can't figure out what bait they may be wanting to bite. And we actually experimented a lot today. We went, you know, we started out with a Carolina rig and a jig, and Tom actually started catching fish way before I did. He caught 3 or 4 on a Carolina rig and just seemed like that slow drag presentation was a little bit better. Those fish were real lethargic. I couldn't get anything going. I'm switching around over and over again. And finally, I got a couple bites on a jig.
Got him?
He got one.
That's a nice fish.
Yeah, nice one. Caught him on a jig. I actually was hopping that jig when he bit it. A good one. He's kind of, you know, we're just post-spawn here, so that's, you know, he's torn up a little bit and probably just got out there and starting to feed back up. He's got a nice belly on him, so he's getting bigger. Yeah, the thing about those fish is they're I've switched, huh?
I've got me convinced.
It was actually not when I was dragging the jig, but when I was hopping it up in the air. And a lot of times when you stroke that bait or hop it, you can get a reaction bite out of the fish. It's something that flashes by their face real fast. They'll move quickly when it's on the fall and they'll bite it. And that's kind of what happened. We caught quite a few that way once we figured that out. But you know, it wasn't any big fish.
See, that's what I was starting to do on that, just let him sit.
Let it sit there.
Yeah.
They're just not very aggressive, is the problem.
Really, we kind of stumbled at the very end of the day on the fact that the fish were pretty slow. We got to where you were almost just holding a bait or just very slowly moving the bait, and then we got into the last little group and we were catching a few more fish doing that.
Pretty nice fish, 2-pounder. Same deal, just pretty much just straight below the boat. You might need one of these.
When the Fisherman's Handbook returns, we'll head back out on Kentucky Lake. The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter of fishing, hunting, and outdoor gear. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Yamaha Marine, reliability starts here. And by Garmin, we'll get you there.
Before you head out here, get ready at Cabela's, your source for the hottest new gear at tough-to-beat prices. Save big on everything you need when you shop by catalog, stores, and online at Cabela's.com. Our legendary selection is field-tested and field-proven. You can trust our gear. Cabela's, world's foremost outfitter.
We invented and patented the first aerated live well. We're first with higher flotation standards and first to receive a protected design hull copyright. With such a strong focus on non-stop innovation, no other boat enjoys such advanced engineering. Ranger Boats. We're celebrating over 45 years of fishing and a lifetime of leadership. Discover Yamaha's VMAX power. When you want the best, choose Yamaha.
Proven reliability is part of every Yamaha outboard, so we're starting off 2013 with Yamaha's Proven Reliability Sales Event. For a limited time, purchase an eligible new Yamaha outboard and choose between 3 years of Yamaha limited warranty coverage along with an additional 2-year Yamaha extended service plan at no extra cost. Or take up to $2,000 in Yamaha credit toward the purchase of goods and services. Either way, if you're looking to have more fun on the water in 2013, now's your chance. Visit your local Yamaha outboard dealer today.
I think the reason these fish hit these baits so well is not just the action that the baits have, but the lighted eyes and lighted tail. There's a good one. That's a big one.
Biologists have been saying it for years. Bass use their senses to find food. Livingston Lures is leading the way with lures that emit vibration and sound technology to incite a feeding frenzy.
About took the rod out of my hand.
Livingston Lures is the innovator of vibration and sound technology that mimics biology. LivingstonLures.com.
Making the most of your time. It's why Ranger developed the revolutionary Z Comanche series. With muscle car inspired engineering and a long list of best-in-class features, these designs take all-out performance to the extreme. Surround yourself with the pace-setting freedom of the Ranger Z Comanche series. It's a hammer-down reminder of the power that comes from turning things loose. Discover Yamaha's VMAX power. When you want the best, choose Yamaha.
Welcome back to the Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook with Wade Middleton. Follow the Fisherman's Handbook on Facebook, where you'll get the behind-the-scenes tips and tactics. And follow along with Wade and the crew as they post pics and updates from their fishing trips. You'll also have a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime fishing trip with Wade to the redfish capital of the world, Venice, Louisiana. Find us on Facebook and click the like button. We're highlighting a couple of the best bass fishing lakes around. Kentucky Lake and Toledo Bend are at the top of our list.
You know, Kentucky Lake and Toledo Bend, they're about as big as you can find for bodies of waters. They're about as diverse as you can find for bodies of water. Big fish live there. Lots of fish live there. Fishermen love to visit both those bodies of water. Spending time fishing in either one of those bodies of water is a fisherman's dream because you know you're on a body of water where bites are going to happen. Big bites are possible at any given time, and there's so many unique ways to catch them. As we spend our time dissecting both of these bodies of water, it's unique to see that cover remains a constant in a lot of ways to put numbers in the boat on both of these, whether you're flipping the shallow cover at Kentucky Lake or whether you're fishing around shallow cover at Toledo Bend. Cover, without a question, is the key for catching a lot of bass on those bodies of water.
Professional bass angler Clark Wendland recently dissected Kentucky Lake with Cabela's Tom Rolls.
When we thought about putting this trip together, I thought to myself, you know, hey, we'll fish ledges one day, and then tomorrow we'll go fish some grass. And grass grows in shallow water. It doesn't grow real deep. And on Kentucky Lake, the deepest grass we'll find maybe 7 to 10 foot. It'll be hydrilla, milfoil, and there'll be some other stringy kinds of grass. And we can throw things like topwater, maybe throw chatterbait, spinnerbait, swim a jig, swim baits. I think there'll be a variety of different things that we can do to catch fish, and we'll see if we can get on some bigger fish that way. I don't know, it'll be fun. It'll just be fun to see a lake during a certain time of year, fish shallow, fish deep, and kind of contrast the two.
Before we head to the shallows, let's take a closer look at the soft plastic lure Tom was fishing with on day one. Fisherman's Handbook presents End of the Line, getting you geared up to get the big fish tugging on the end of your line.
That's a little bit better fish. Yeah. A little over 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds or so. Tell you what, maybe trying to talk you out of one of them blue baits here in a minute.
If you need one, let me know.
Yeah, I may have to have one.
Tom is throwing a Cabela's Fisherman Series go-to split tail grub in black and blue. You can find the complete line of Cabela's go-to baits or any of the products seen on today's show at Cabela's.com.
There's one. He hit it pretty much as soon as it hit the water.
Yeah, he was waiting for it.
Yeah, he just pretty much was. Now, we're seeing those dark spots right now, so I'm just basically throwing it clumps. Now, that's fun, though. It doesn't matter how big they are when you catch one on top water. We fished shallow on Kentucky Lake, and I tell you what, we caught a ton of fish today. Now, most of those fish weren't very big. We caught a lot of 1.5 to 2.5 pounders, but absolutely caught a pile of them, and really caught them just on everything. We started off throwing top water, a little bit on spinnerbait. Tom caught a couple on spinnerbait right off the bat. Bigger fish?
No, I think about the same. Except he's trying to go down a little bit. He isn't coming up. About the same. Oh.
Easy release.
And the release.
Ended up, I started throwing a chatterbait, kind of a little bit more on the edge of the grass, and that seemed to work pretty good. You know, I fished here several weeks ago in a tournament, and I caught a lot of nice fish on that chatterbait, a lot of better fish, and I just kept thinking, you know, if we find the right spot, you know, I think we can catch some of those bigger fish, but we just never did. But it was a great day. We caught a bunch of fish, caught some on top water, and you know, spending the day with Tom was a great day.
Overall trip, just fishing with Clark, great, very knowledgeable angler, likes to have fun at it, really enjoyed the experience fishing with him, and just the different techniques and just the knowledge he imparts on the structure and what techniques to use when.
Every time we catch two together, yours seems to always be bigger than mine. I don't really understand that.
Yeah, let's get that.
I mean, I catch a little one, you catch a big one. It just doesn't seem quite right.
Wade and the Fisherman's Handbook crew have always trusted Ranger boats to get them out on the water. For saltwater and freshwater, Ranger boats are the Fisherman Handbook's boat of choice. Ranger is celebrating 45 years of still building legends one at a time. Let's put your Ranger knowledge to the test. In 1973, Ranger boats helped the U.S. Coast Guard develop new standards for what? For the answer to this question and to learn more about the last 45 years of Ranger boats, visit mydreamrig.com.
Here at Cedar Creek Lake, we got a cooler full of nice crappie, just like this one. We're gonna go back and fillet them with the Bubba Blade. Hello guys, my name's Chuck Rollins. I'm with BigCrappie.com guide service. We're using a Bubba Blade to clean all of our fish now. We've stopped using the electric knives. I'll tell you why we like these guys. One, I've gotten quicker with this than I was my electric one. I would recommend Bubba Blade to anyone who cleans a lot of fish. You can bust right through the rib cages with these blades because they're so rigid, but these flexible ones they'll bend also, so you can clean these smaller fish. The reason I like these bigger blades is they give me a lot of leverage. Once I get in a roll and I start cleaning a lot of fish, if I've got 60 or 80 fish up here to clean, and you can push this through those bones a lot faster than you can push that electric knife through them. I picked up a Bubba Blade about 4 months ago, and I'm sold on it, and that's all I use now.
Before you head out here, get ready at Cabela's, your source for the hottest new gear at tough-to-beat prices. Save big on everything you need when you shop by catalog, stores, and online at Cabela's.com. Our legendary selection is field-tested and field-proven. you can trust our gear. Cabela's, world's foremost outfitter.
Now give me Branson, where folks are smiling, and all the while inviting you there. Warm and cozy, feeling rosy, friendly places, woo, smiling faces.
Escape the winter blues with a dose of fun Branson style. Many shows and attractions are open, so call today for special winter schedules.
Give me Branson, where folks are smiling. Branson, Missouri. Now that's entertainment. Call 888-339-4949.
Welcome back to the Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook with Wade Middleton. Brought to you in part by Livingston Lures, designed to call the fish to you. Hydrowave, ignite a feeding frenzy. Amphibious performance floating eye gear. And by Laser Trocar, surgically sharpened technology. We're showcasing two of our favorite bass fishing lakes, and we've started with Kentucky Lake.
You know, one of the most exciting things that you always hear when people talk about Kentucky Lake is how many bites they get there. Doesn't matter what technique they're doing, no matter how they're fishing it, they always tend to get a lot of bites. And that's no different than for what Tom and Clark are experiencing right now. Now, they're targeting grass and ledges and mixing it up. Now we're going to jump in the boat with myself and Jeff Reynolds, and we're going to run to another end of the lake and see what we can't do targeting flooded willows.
I was like, that ought to be one.
25 casts later at the same spot.
Current just, you know, I mean, you can make that same cast. That's hard to do as a fisherman, though.
Oh, it is. I mean, you know they're going to come there, but just keep sitting there throwing over and over.
Yeah, and wait.
Uh-oh. Good one?
A little better here.
Just strong. Oh, he's a little better. Yeah. A little better. Nice one.
Jiggling him up and down there, and he got him hold of that bite. Got a hold of that fighting frog.
Kentucky Lake is an absolutely ginormous body of water. I mean, it stretches for miles and miles and with thousands and thousands of acres of shoreline. Another big body of water is Toledo Bend on the Texas-Louisiana border. This body of water kind of in a lot of senses reminds me of Kentucky Lake because it also has a lot of shallow cover and it's also got some deep ledges, and it's another one of those ginormous bodies of water with thousands and thousands of acres of shoreline for a person to go fish. We're going to head over to Toledo Bend right now and do some shallow water fishing on that great body of water.
The Toledo Bend Reservoir is located on the Sabine River on the Louisiana-Texas border. With an area of 185,000 acres, Toledo Bend is the largest man-made body of water in Texas.
You know, I first started fishing Toledo Bend when I was like 15 years old. Heck, I'm 42 years old now. I fished my first really, really big tournament here. It was an Angler's Choice Team Championship, man. I was all gung-ho to come, and, you know, I was 15 and a half years old if I was going to win. And, you know, this is a legendary lake. I mean, then you have guys like Larry Nixon, who, you know, was my hero growing up, and Tommy Martin, and you know, all of those guys kind of, I mean, they fished here, and this is just one of those lakes that it always feels good to come back to.
Pro bass angler Jeff Crete frequents the Toledo Bend Reservoir, so we met up with him to ask him what his favorite way to catch them on the Toledo Bend is.
Good fish.
Go and pick up that wacky worm again, man. If you can't see them, and they're not on beds, but you know they're close, probably the best way to catch them is throwing a wacky worm. And what a wacky worm is you just take a straight worm. I just throw a big bite straight tail worm and hook it through the middle. I like to throw it on a spinning rod. I was throwing 10-pound braid, and then I was throwing, you know, 10-pound leader, you know, fluorocarbon leader. And then I'll put a little tiny nail weight in the head of that worm. And the whole deal is you throw that thing at stumps, at sand spots, anything different. I mean, you want little bitty tiny points anywhere there's a color change is the deal. And the best thing about it, when you throw a wacky worm out there, you need to throw it out there and you just don't do anything with it. I mean, When you think you're fishing too slow, I promise you you're fishing too fast. The slower you fish, the more bites you get. I love to throw a wacky worm, and truthfully, I've caught some really big sacks on a wacky worm. If you get out in those situations when it's tough, even after a cold front, whatever, and you go into these areas and you know they're supposed to be up there and you can't catch them very good, put you on some light line and you throw a wacky worm on any of these Texas lakes. I'm talking Toledo Bend, Rayburn. I mean, it works anywhere. And always throw at your color changes and your little depth changes and things like that. But throw it out there, make a cast, let it sink all the way to the bottom with a bow in your line. Don't keep your line tight because it'll swing to you. Let that thing fall and watch that line. And most of the time, your bites are gonna be on the initial drop. You don't have to work it forever. And if I'm throwing at targets, I may throw it up at a stump, let it fall on a slack line by that stump. I'll pick it up, you know, drop it back down. If I don't get bit, I'm gonna reel in, I'm gonna fire at another target. Wacky worm is absolutely, in Texas, is deadly. There's been more bass caught on Toledo Bend and Rayburn probably on a wacky worm than anything else there ever has been.
More exciting Toledo Bend action when the Fisherman's Handbook returns.
How about that?
Hey man, how about that? They were really biting.
Not bad. What was that? Did you see that?
See what? Crete, did you forget to turn the hydrowave off again?
Oh, it looks like I did.
Don't worry, I got it.
Thanks, bud.
Crete! Sorry guys, he never remembers. Give it up, Crete.
What are you doing, dude? They're keepers.
As an angler who loves being on the water, you're always prepared with the right gear. But do you have a plan if you break down on the road or on the water? Membership in Boat US Angler gives you peace of mind wherever you are. Some of our tournament participants saw how helpful this can be. Boat US Angler membership also includes savings on equipment, access to affordable insurance for your boat and fishing gear, a subscription to Boat US Angler magazine, and much more. Discover what thousands of anglers know. It pays to belong to Boat US Angler. Join today. Visit BoatUSAngler.com.
Freedom Live Action Hybrid Jigs, designed with state-of-the-art technology that given the ability of the fisherman to easily customize the hook or bait to the actual presentation with an easy twist on and off snap. It gives the bait a free range of motion. Give more natural and realistic action. Bring fishing to the next level of enjoyment. Freedom Live Action Hybrid Jigs. For more information, go to freedomlures.com.
You just want to fish, not mess around with buttons and settings and such. That's why they made every Garmin Echo fish finder easy to use. You see fish, you catch fish, easy. Fight fish, not your fish finder. Get the unsurpassed power, clarity, and dependability of a Garmin Echo fish finder.
Welcome back to the Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook with Wade Middleton. We're highlighting both Kentucky Lake and the Toledo Bend Reservoir, two fishing destinations that draw bass anglers from all over.
You know, one thing about fishing Kentucky Lake and Toledo Bend that holds true is in a lot of the same situations, a lot of deals are going to pay off with bites. Just really, you know, spend some time doing a little bit of research if you're going to go to any one of these bodies of water for the first time. Maybe hire a guide. You know, talk to some of the locals that fish there a lot. Talk to your buddies. Get a few GPS waypoints and, you know, they'll phone a friend and get some help. Get yourself in the right areas because these are vast, big bodies of water. And while they're absolutely plumb full of fish, you're going to run into situations in parts of the lake that just don't have any fish based on the time of the year that you're there. So do some homework, rig up with the right stuff, and I promise you, Kentucky Lake and Toledo Bend are going to be places you might catch a fish of a lifetime, but I can guarantee you, you're definitely going to get a lot of bites.
Wade and Trocar's Chris Russell went out on the Toledo Bend to do some shallow water sight fishing.
Well, this is my first time on Toledo Bend, so that made it a great time. It's one of those lakes you just hear about. You know, this, Rayburn, Lake Fork out of Texas, you know, those are the lakes that have been around for so long. And from me not being from this area, that's, man, if you get to fish that, that's all great.
You ready? You ready? Got him. Got him. It's a freaking giant, dude. Hope you let him have his head, don't That's a come here, baby. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Yeah! I told you that's a freaking monster, dude.
Man, oh man.
Thank you.
That's my biggest bass ever right there, I'm telling you.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you it's a 10. I'm telling you it's a 10.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you right now, it's a freaking 10. Hold on that sucker, I'm getting camera.
That is a winner. Woo. I'd say that's a bucket list fish for me. You know, a 10-pounder is kind of a big landmark, and I've always wanted to catch a 10-pound fish, about 6 pounds, about the biggest bass I'd ever caught before. So that's definitely exciting, and just to see the fish down here, they're so healthy. They look great. The population obviously is strong, and the fishery is very good here on Toledo Bend.
You know, as you wrap up and look at fishing both Kentucky Lake and Toledo Bend, there's a few things, if you were planning a trip there, you got to have. You know, from a bait selection, natural hues are really going to pay off. Your watermelon reds, your green pumpkins, you know, basic colors, they're always going to catch some fish. Doesn't matter whether it's a 10-inch worm or a 3-inch flipping bait. Line selection, you know, 10-pound test line is going to pay off to get you a lot of bites in certain situations, but probably better off using 16 to 20-pound test. Have a rod and reel combination rigged with braid for flipping in and around that heavy cover. Weight sizes, you know, 1/4 ounce to 1 ounce, depending on your applications. You know, have a topwater or two in there. Both of those lakes can be phenomenal for topwater. Chunk and wind a spinner bait and a swim bait around. I mean, both of these lakes are places that you can have a lot of rod and reel combinations on your deck to meet a lot of different things that are out there. And as a fisherman, that's exciting to know that at any given turn, any given cast, you can grab another bait, throw something different, and get a tug on about anything that you're going to have in your tackle box.
That's it. That sounded like a pretty good one. Did you see him hit it?
I saw him hit it.
How big was it? I mean, bigger than what we've been catching?
Thanks for watching. Remember to follow the Fisherman's Handbook on Facebook, where you'll find the behind-the-scenes tips and tactics. You'll also have a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime fishing trip with Wade to the redfish capital of the world, Venice, Louisiana. So find us on Facebook and click the like button.